Hello, so today I'm going to present my final project on the topic of God and gaming. You might be wondering how these two completely different fields or subjects can be related in the first place, but throughout this presentation, I will try my best to explain my interpretation of God, both learning from this class, Chinese religion, and inspiring from my 6 years of gaming experiences. So this is the general structure of my presentation. First, I'm going to briefly introduce my thesis or core theme of the presentation, which is my definition of God and how gods were created. Second, I'm going to introduce one of the most popular game right now, League of Legends. It is an amazing game. I can talk a lot about it, but today I'm just going to focus on two aspects. So the first one is the background stories and characters designs of the god in the game. And the second one is how a human, a pro gamer of League of Legends, became a god and how he inspired me to do this presentation. So let's get started. So to me, God is an ineffable being, spirit, power that was created by humans and the process of superscription to guide our action and to empower our beliefs and faiths. And more importantly, we might still creating gods now. What? How can this be possible? Um, However, before I get into the real gaming part, I just want to give two quick examples of human creating gods that we learned in the class. So the first one is the story of 女娲补天. I'm not gonna repeat the story, but what's interesting is that in the earlier Qing and Han dynasties, Nuwa actually had nothing to do with Gong Gong, who touched the mountain and induced the collapse of the sky. So there was not a clear record of the reasons for the collapse of the world and the occurrence of flood. Nuwa and Gong Gong were just two independent myths. So, however, in the early Eastern Qing dynasty, Wang Chong wrote 论衡谈天篇 to blend these two myths together, refining the story. So the second example is our old friend Guan Yu. So I'd learned the transformation of Guan Yu from a real historical figure, a warrior, during the Warring Kingdom period, to a god of war representing loyalty and strength and power, and eventually becoming a Buddhist deity gardening temples as a door god. So in both stories, people with different cultural backgrounds, people from different historical periods, people with different perspectives were making, refining, and building towards the myth or gods that we learned that passed it down till today. In short, this is the process of superscription, and it made and create the gods that we see, that we study today. So let's get into real business. So League of Legends is a multiplayer online video games developed by a US company called Riot. Two teams of powerful champions and characters, each with a unique design, fight each other across battlefields. So there are several reasons why I choose this game as the main topic I want to present right now. So first, as I said, I have 6 years of experiences of playing this game. While I'm not a pro gamer, I have some unique insights and I'm passionate about this game. Second, it is definitely the most popular game trending right now. The final of the 2021 League of Legends World Championships, which was held in Iceland last November, reached a total of 4 million viewers. It does not include viewers watching from platforms in China. where the Chinese viewer likely makes the number significantly larger. So, in my opinion, esports is definitely a cultural trend that is spreading in my generation. So, it's a pretty important culture to me. And lastly, so there are a total of 157 champions or characters in the games, and each of them has their own background story, which is carefully crafted and depicted, integrating all of them together. Riot creates a universe for the League of Legends, and I think this is the most crucial reasons why League is thriving right now. So, but some of the champions have such a rich stories that they stand out above the rest of the game. So in those stories, I find that they shares many similarities with god myths we study, like 女娲补天. So next, I'm gonna share one story which talks about a lore in League of Legends, and it also has some crossovers with the film哪吒we watched in the class. So the mighty being known as Ashin was already ancient before the rise of the moral races of Runeterra. Born in the first breath of creation, he and those like him roamed the vast nothingness of a pristine celestial realm, seeking to fill this canvas of incalculable breadth with marvels and delight to all who witnesses them. As, as he wandered, Ashin rarely encountered any equals. But then, bathed in the light of a fairly unremarkable sun he had crafted eons earlier, he discovered something, a world, new rhymes. He did not know who had created this world, or why, only that it had not been him. The aspects, who seemed unusually invested in it, implored him to come closer. There was life here, and magic, and fledgling civilizations that cried out from guardians from beings greater than themselves. Flattered by this new audience to his supreme majesty, Ashin descended to bask in their adulation, in the form of a vast and terrible dragon from the stars. The tiny inhabitants of this insignificant land of Targon named him for the golden light of the sun he had given them, a star forger, the god of Runeterra. So this is actually a condensed version of the story, but I put a hyperlink at the end of the presentation, and the link will lead to a world of Runeterra. If you are interested in the full version of the story, you should go check it out. So actually, the inspiration of designing these champions comes from the Chinese myth of the Dragon King, Donghai Long Wang. As we learned from the film哪吒we watched during the class, Ao Bing, who has the ability to control water and weather, is the son of the Dragon King. And the picture I'm showing here is actually Ao Bing in its dragon form, which we didn't get a chance to watch, but you can clearly recognize that the visual arts and the designs of Ao Bing and Ao Xin are very much similar. So this is Ao Bing and this is Ao Xin. Ao Xin. They even share the same family name of Ao, which represents power and elegance above the concerns and rules of man. So what's the difference? So where's the process of superscription? That falls into the perspective and ingenious usage of Xing as the first name. So Xing in Chinese can mean many things, one of which is prosperity, initializing, gathering, and eventually thriving. This is exactly how Aoxin created Runeterra for League of Legends as depicted in the previous story. So Riot designers incorporated the definition of Xing into the already established Chinese myth of Dragon Kings, thus creating an innovative legend, Aoxing. So he was born out of the traditional conception of dragons and eventually transforming into a supreme creator that embodies elemental duality and abilities of forging stars and bringing storms. So to me, this is the process of superscription. New ideas, new interpretations, and new cultures are added into the old, thus building upon a more refined and integrated cultural symbol. In our case, a crafted myth or a god. So thousands years later, the history of mankind might come to an end if we don't find a way to live with sustainability. But we might pass down some of our fragmental histories, stories, and evidence of existence to the new species or race that thrived at that time. So in that case, they might think Aoxing is one of the gods, as like the same way we think of Chang'e or Hou Yi. So that's the main reason why I claim that we might still be creating gods now. So at last, I want to end my presentation by introducing one of my favorite pro gamer, Uzi. So what's special about him is that the people call him God. Well, not a real God, but an esteemed person. So if you type 永远地神, which means forever God in Google's and hit search, he will pop up. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. So not only he's a programmer with masterly skills, but also I think it's his attitude, spirits toward gaming, towards life that motivated me. So he inspires me to do this presentation actually. So the following is a direct quote from him. I translated it into English with my own understanding and interpretation. So when given the chance, you have to grip it tightly. When facing a seemingly impossible or difficult situation, you cannot just run away because you will keep running away every time you encounter it. So you have to keep trying and believe in yourself. If you fail, it's okay because you still have chances. But if you succeed, you become a god. So to summarize, in my opinions, humans are humble and ignorant. However, we created so many things throughout history, and I think those people or spirits or stories that motivates us to keep trying are gods. Thank you.